I finally have to make a video and share a few thoughts on the current state of politics, right? I'm a Trump supporter. I voted for Trump, and in 2016, coming up on this election, I was kind of unsure. Some of the noise had gotten to me. Some of his rhetoric, let's be honest, I think you can find something you don't like about Trump if you really look hard enough, and if that's your goal. And, these things started getting at me, and I looked around and I saw Andrew Yang. And I loved him. I liked the universal basic income. He explained it in a way that actually made sense. That $1,000, I know for a fact, I consider myself, an average American. It's going right back into gymnastic classes for my daughter. It's going into fixing my car. It's going into gas. And then I'm going to go out, have a good night, maybe a date, whatever it may be. That money is going back into the economy. These jobs are going away, and the dangers that our society faces in 20 years, 10 years, when these jobs are automated away, we have to be balancing it. It's a bailout. We bailed out the auto industry. This is a bailout of the American people. It's a dividend. Don't put something in your Senate bill that's going to help some executives or some company, give me $1,000. Cut the check to the American citizen. Let's see how that works, even just for 4 years, right? It might not be something you can do forever and ever, but let's see if we can get this on track, help people at the same time with a little bit of humanity. Now, I love this idea. Of course, the Democratic debates come by, and what do they all do? They're asked, would you give free health care to illegal immigrants? And Andrew Yang didn't even answer. He looked around first. He goes, what do you guys think of this? Okay, yeah, me too. And it was just like, all right, man, you lost me. You're either not a serious individual, or you are, you're either not intelligent, or you're being coerced into doing this. There's a control structure at play, because it makes no sense. You and I both know it. We certainly need in our society some kind of base level where if you're hurt, you can go and get some care. Now, is it going to be the best care in the world? Probably not, but it's just like in the middle of a battle, right? You're going to give healthcare to the enemy. It doesn't matter. You help people who are hurt. That being said, we cannot create a system where we entice people to come over, where it's incentivized for them to do so. That is not something that's sustainable. Period. End of story. We can't do it. We can't help anybody if we don't have a country. Moving on, I just want to acknowledge some of the reasons I will be voting for Trump this election. Instead of talking anymore about why I'm not going to vote for these these Democrats who at this point have completely lost me, make zero sense. I'm going to talk about Trump's accomplishments that I like and that I don't think are mentioned at all enough. These things should be on a CNN banner every day. So number one, prison reform. If you don't know about it, which a lot of people didn't, my sisters hate Donald Trump. They didn't even know about this. Prison reform, historic, bipartisan, literally something that has been discussed for probably 2 decades now, the better part of my life, and Donald Trump got it done. Nonviolent drug offenders don't need to be in jail. I don't know the exact parameters of the reform bill. I know it's a First Step Act, and I know that it did a lot of great things, and we're moving forward. That is progress. You talk about progressivism, that is progress. Number 2, renegotiated NAFTA. What more needs to be said? People said it couldn't be done when we finally made a deal with Mexico. They said, well, Canada will never come on board. We used leverage just like the president said he would. And Canada came back to the table. Here we are, United States, Mexico, Canada agreement, USMCA. Number 3, just the overall world security. I feel more secure personally. When's the last time you heard about ISIS? You guys remember them? It's been a while. The news just likes to act like, the ISIS ferries went away. No, motherfucker. We dropped bombs. Donald Trump and his generals actually solved an issue. They actually said, hey, you know what we want? We want the caliphate, the territory they control. Mind you, they had a country at this point. The average American, I know for a fact, does not know these things. They had a country, the caliphate. Now it's done. You never hear about it again. There's obviously still bad people. There's obviously still members of ISIS, whatever it was. But again, the caliphate is gone, destroyed. Iran, the Iranian sanctions that we're doing are working. Iran, they make threats, and then they're going to come to the table. That's American strength. That's American leadership. You see members of the European countries, UK seizing oil rigs, other people actually putting the pressure on Iran. Their economy is crumbling. They have 30+ plus percent unemployment. It's just a matter of time. That's American strength. We need them to come back to the table. We need them to stop sowing terror throughout the world. We need them to stop threatening death to America or death to Israel. North Korea, one of the other world's biggest threats. Do you feel like we're going to go to war with North Korea anytime soon? I don't. I used to. A couple of years ago, I certainly did. I was scared. I think we all were. But now, we're good. Let's all be real with ourselves. You guys can talk about the diplomacy all you want. The results speak for themselves. Okay, so number 3 was, the security in the world. Number 4 is what he's planning on doing with prescription drug prices, right? Lowering prescription drug prices, guaranteeing that Americans pay the lowest of any nation, or at least the same amount as these nations that pay nothing, while the pharma industries make billions off of the rich Americans. No more. That's number 4. And then finally, and then kind of an amalgamation of all of it, is the economy, the border, just the overall progress that we're making as a society. And I know Obama had a lot to do with the economy. If you say he didn't, you're dumb. You know what I mean? But when you see the continued job growth, when you outdo projections, when you actually bring back manufacturing jobs that people said you couldn't, when you're so effective at renegotiating trade deals that you can now start discussing things like manufacturing, and you can start discussing things like lowering drug prices. A lot of people don't know that they're tied up in our trade deals. So the progress that we've made as a society and the lasting effects of it are going to be great. We need to be allowed to move forward. Trump 2020 second term, let's finish the border. Please, Democrats, let's get it done. Let's get infrastructure bills passed. Please, let's do it. And let's just keep making the world great. Continue peace, continue prosperity, focus on our infrastructure. And that's what he wants to do. We just need to get out of his way. Keep America great again, 2020.